Hey everyone. So right now, you're watching this on some kind of screen, right? A phone, a tablet, maybe a computer. But have you ever stopped to think about the wild journey this video is taking just to get to you? Well, today we're going to dig into the secrets of the internet, how it's actually built and how it's, well, completely changed our world.
No, really, just for a second, think about it. How are the words I'm saying traveling across, I don't know, the entire digital universe to get to your ears? How is this video streaming so smoothly to your screen? It all comes down to one incredible, amazing invention.
Okay, so to figure all that out, we have to start with the basics. First things first, let's get a really clear idea of what the internet actually is.
At its heart, the internet is basically just a giant worldwide network. Just picture it connecting billions, literally billions of devices. Your phone, your friend's laptop, some server halfway across the world, all of them linked up so they can talk to each other.
And for your exams, here's the definition you've got to remember. A global network is a worldwide system of connected computer networks. Simple as that. And the whole reason for this massive thing? It's all about letting us share information and communicate, no matter how far apart we are.
All right, so now we know what it is, but how does it all actually work? Let's get into the technical bits, but I promise we're going to keep it super simple and easy to follow. Okay, imagine you're sending an actual letter. You pop it in an envelope, and it travels along roads to get where it's going. The internet does something pretty similar with data. Every single time you watch a video or send a message, that information gets chopped up into these tiny little digital envelopes. But hold on. With billions of these little data envelopes flying around every second, how do they not all get lost or, crash into each other? Well, just like cars on a super busy highway, the internet needs rules. The best way to think about them is just traffic rules. Now, the official name for these traffic rules is TCP protocols, and this is a big one to remember. These protocols are just the set of instructions that make sure your data gets from point A to point B safely and in the right order. Basically, TCP/IP is the system that makes the whole internet go. So how do we actually connect to this network and use these rules? Well, there are two main ways: wired and wireless. A wired connection uses a physical cable, kind of like a pipe delivering water straight to your house. It's super fast and stable. Wireless, on the other hand, uses radio waves, like Wi-Fi. That's more like a sprinkler system, spraying data all over an area. I mean, we've all seen an Ethernet cable for a wired connection, and we definitely all know that Wi-Fi symbol. But here's the most important part, and this is huge for your exams. It doesn't matter if you're plugged in or using Wi-Fi. Both of them use the exact same TCP/IP traffic rules to send and receive data. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. Now let's get to the why. What does this amazing network actually let us do every single day?
See, the internet isn't just one thing. It's the foundation for so many services we use all the time. We're talking about web browsing when you do research for school, email to keep in touch, online shopping, gaming with your friends across the globe, social media, and of course, video streaming, which is exactly what you're doing right this second. So the internet gives us a ton of cool services, that's clear. But the real story here is how all these services have totally reshaped our entire world. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the internet's massive global impact.
It has fundamentally changed how we live our lives. I mean, just think about it. The way we communicate went from old landline phones to instant messaging and video calls. The way we work has gone from being stuck in an office to being possible from almost anywhere. And the way we learn has been completely revolutionized, giving us access to pretty much all of human knowledge. Seriously, think about this. A generation ago, if you had to do research, you had to go to a library and physically flip through books. Now, you have the world's entire library sitting on your phone. This isn't just a small change, it's a huge fundamental shift in daily life for billions of people. All right, let's pull all of this together for revision. This next part is basically your exam cheat sheet. If you're going to remember anything from our little chat today for your test, make sure it's this stuff right here.
This chart is perfect. It summarizes everything we've talked about in 4 key areas. Let's just run through them one last time to make sure it sticks.
Okay, let's lock this in. 1. What is it? The internet is a global network connecting our devices. 2. How does it work? It uses those TCP/IP rules with either a wired or wireless connection. 3. What does it give us? It provides all the services we use every day, like browsing and gaming. And finally, 4. Why does it matter? Because it has completely transformed how we work, learn, and communicate. Got it? Awesome.
Now, here's a classic exam trap, so listen up. A lot of people mix up the internet and the World Wide Web. They are not the same thing. Remember that mind map with all the services? The web, all the websites you browse, is just one of those services. The internet is the huge network that the web, your email, and your games all run on. Don't fall into that trap.
And I'll just leave you with this to think about. Look at all those services again. Which one do you think has changed your life the most? Is it social media, online gaming, or maybe the video streaming that made this whole thing possible? Thanks so much for watching. Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something you probably use all the time, especially at school, but you might not even know what it's called. Yep, we're diving into the intranet. Let's figure out what this thing actually is.
Okay, so think about this. You've probably done it 1,000 times, right? You log into your school's private portal to check your grades or see what homework is due, but have you ever stopped to wonder, how does it keep that stuff private? Like, how does it stop just anyone from seeing your report card? Well, that's the big secret we're going to uncover today.
And the answer to that big question? It's all thanks to something called an intranet. That's the magic word. It's the tech that builds that private, walled-off online space for your school, or for a big company, or really any group.
All right, let's get a proper definition down. This is a big one, so listen up. An intranet is basically a private network, and the key word there is private. It's built for just one organization, like your school. And its entire job is to help all the people inside that group, students, teachers, everyone, talk to each other, share files, and just work together better.
Okay, now we got to tackle the #1 point of confusion. Intranet, internet. They sound almost the same, right? It's super easy to mix them up, but they are worlds apart. And the main massive difference all boils down to one simple idea: who's allowed in.
Let me give you a really simple way to think about it. The internet, that's like a giant public park. Anyone can go in, wander around, see what's happening. It's open to the whole world. But an intranet, that's like your own house. It's got a locked door, and you need a key to get inside. Only you and your family, the people who are supposed to be there, can enter.
So, let's put it in black and white. Internet equals public. Anyone can get on. Intranet equals private. You need permission. You need a login. You need a password. And that is exactly how your school's website keeps your grades safe. You have the key to get in, but some random person on the street doesn't.
All right, so we've established that an intranet is a private network, but how does it actually work? I mean, what's it made of, and what's the whole point of having one?
Okay, this next part is the really surprising bit. You might even call it a secret. Are you ready? An intranet is built using the exact same technology as the regular old internet. It's kind of like you use the same bricks to build a public library and a private house. The building materials are identical, it's just who you let through the front door that changes everything.
So what are these building blocks we're talking about? Well, tech people call it a technology stack, which is just a fancy way of saying the layers it's built on. And these layers are the very same ones that make the entire World Wide Web go round. You've probably heard of these before: TCP/IP, HTTP, and HTML.
Don't let the letters scare you, it's pretty simple. Think of TCP/IP as the post office of the internet. It just knows how to get data packets from one place to another. Then you have HTTP. That's like the common language everyone agrees to speak so they can understand each other. And finally, HTML. That's the code that actually builds the websites you see. So yeah, it's all the same stuff, just tucked away behind that private locked door.
So, what's the big deal? Well, because it uses all this normal web tech, an intranet can do all the cool things a normal website can do. The only difference is it's all happening in that safe, private space. So, what can it actually do for us?
Well, it's the engine behind all those super useful services inside an organization. We're talking about stuff like the email system for school-wide announcements, the place where you upload and share your homework files, special tools for working on group projects together, and of course, the big one, those internal websites like your school's main student portal. But why? I mean, why would a school or a company bother setting all this up? What's the ultimate goal? It really boils down to three main things. First, making communication way better, so you never miss an important announcement again. Second, boosting productivity. I mean, having everything you need in one spot just makes studying and getting work done so much faster. And third, just giving everyone easy access to important stuff, like exam schedules, library info, you name it. Okay, everybody, let's switch into exam mode for a second. We've gone over the what and the why. Now it's time for the stuff you absolutely positively have to remember for your test.
Seriously, if you're gonna remember just one thing, make it what's coming up next.
Here it is, your golden ticket, your magic formula. Ready? Standard web tech plus restricted access equals intranet. That's it. If you can just remember that little equation, you've totally nailed the main idea. It's just web stuff with a locked door.
All right, let's do a super fast recap of the key revision points. Number 1, an intranet is a private network for one group. Number 2, the internet is public. The intranet is private. That's the big difference. Number 3, it uses all the same tech as the regular internet. And number 4, its whole purpose is to make communication and productivity better. Easy enough, right?
And to make sure all this is really sunk in, here are a few practice questions for you. These are exactly the kind of things you might see on your exam. Can you define intranet in just one sentence? Can you name 2 big differences between it and the internet? And what are its 3 main goals? Go ahead and pause right here, try to answer them, and you'll be totally set. Great job today, and thanks for tuning in.
Have you ever ordered food online and then just stared at your phone, tracking the little icon as it makes its way to your house? Or maybe you've watched a package travel all the way across the country. Well, the magic that lets different companies share that info with you securely, that's exactly what we're talking about today, the extranet.
So you gotta wonder, right? How does that shopping website tell the delivery company where to go without, just shouting your address out to the whole internet? They need a kind of private, secret bridge between them. And that special bridge, that secure network, is called an extranet. It's the secret sauce to how businesses work together online, safely.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with what an extranet actually is. Then we'll see who uses them, and we'll clear up the confusion between an extranet and an intranet. After that, we'll dive into how they keep things secure, and we'll wrap it all up with a quick summary and some killer exam tips. Let's do it! Okay, first things first. What in the world is an extranet? It sounds super technical, I know, but trust me, when you break it down, it's actually a really simple idea. Think of it like this. A company has its own private network, just for its own stuff, right? Now, imagine they open a tiny, secure little door in that network for some very specific people from the outside to peek in and see certain information. That's it. That's an extranet. The key thing to remember is this is not the public internet. It's a private, controlled space. And here we go. This is the official definition you'll want to highlight in your notes. An extranet is a private network that uses internet technology to give limited and secure access to selected, authorized outsiders. Seriously, every word there is gold for your exam. Private, limited, secure, and authorized. Don't forget them. Okay, so we keep saying selected outsiders and external users. But who are these mystery people? Who actually gets the keys to this special secure door? Well, it's usually one of 3 groups. First, there are customers. That's you, tracking your package. Then you've got suppliers, the folks who provide the company with materials. And finally, there are business partners, which are other companies they're working with. And see that phrase at the bottom? Selected users only? That's the whole point. Not just anyone can join the party. Let's make this real. For customers, we already know it's tracking your delivery in real time. Awesome. For a supplier, think about this. A flour company can log into a bakery's system and see, oh, they're almost out of flour, and automatically schedule a delivery. Super efficient. And for business partners, a marketing team could give their client a special login to see exactly how well their new ad campaign is doing, live. Pretty cool, right?
All right, let's talk about something that gets a lot of students tangled up during exams. The difference between an intranet and an extranet. They sound almost the same, but that one little letter change makes a huge difference. Let's use this diagram to make it super clear. An intranet is for internal people only, just the employees of the company. It's like their own private little internet. But an extranet, that extends access to people outside the company. Now, the part they have in common is that both use the same kind of internet tech to share info in a very controlled way. So, if you're taking notes, here's the key difference. Intranet is for insiders, the internal team. Extranet is for external people, extending that connection outwards. Here's a little memory trick for you. Think intra for inside and extra for outside. Simple. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, isn't sharing company info with outsiders kind of risky? And you'd be absolutely right to think that. So how do companies keep all their important data safe? Well, this is where the digital guardrails come in.
The big idea here is what we call controlled access. Think of an extranet less like an open park and more like a private garden. It's got high walls and only one gate, which is heavily guarded. That wall is kind of like a digital firewall, a security guard that blocks anyone who isn't supposed to be there. This way, the company's secrets stay safe.
So, who's guarding that gate? Well, that's where authorization comes in. This is rule number 1 of extranet security. Just like a security guard at a concert checks your ticket before letting you in, the extranet checks your digital ID, usually your username and password. If your name's on the list, you're in. If not, sorry, the door stays shut. Simple as that.
Okay, let's bring it all home. We're going to quickly recap the most important things you need to lock into your brain for revision and, of course, for your exams.
So this picture really tells the whole story, doesn't it? You have the organization in the middle. It uses internet technology to build a secure bridge, see that shield with the lock on it, to its outside customers, suppliers, and partners. That, my friends, is an extranet in a nutshell.
So if you're going to remember just 3 things from this entire explainer, make it these 3. Number 1, an extranet is a private network. It is not the public internet. Number 2, it gives limited, controlled access to outsiders. And number 3, it is secure. You have to be authorized with a login to get in.
And to finish us off, here's a classic question you might see on an exam. I want you to try it. Define extranet and explain how it's different from an intranet and give me one real-world example of each. Go ahead and pause here and give it a shot. If you can answer that confidently, you've totally nailed this topic. Thanks for watching.
Have you ever been scrolling through social media on your way home and then later that night you log into your school's private website to check your grades? Well, you're actually jumping between 2 totally different kinds of networks, probably without even realizing it. So today we're going to break down what they are and how they actually work.
And that really gets to the heart of it, right? Why does something like social media feel like this huge public park that's open to absolutely everyone, while your school portal feels more like a private clubhouse where you need a secret password to get in? Let's figure this puzzle out together. You know, the answer is all about understanding that not all networks are built the same. There are actually different layers of access online, and each one has its own set of rules. So let's zoom out and get the big picture. Okay, this right here is the key. Think of it just like this image shows, 3 circles, one inside the other. The one in the very middle is the most private. The one on the outside is totally public. And that one in between, well, it's kind of a mix of both. The big question we always need to ask for any network is simple. Who is allowed inside the circle?
So, let's start with the biggest circle, the one we're all swimming in every single day, the internet. And just like it sounds, it's pretty much open to all.
So what exactly is it? The internet is this massive global system that connects millions and millions of other networks all over the world. A great way to think about it is as the public cloud. The 3 things you absolutely have to remember are it's global, it covers the entire planet, it's public, anyone can hop on, and its main goal, to share information with everyone.
And you use it all the time. I mean, every time you search for something on Google, watch a video, or scroll through your social media feed, you're on the internet. It's basically the digital town square for the entire world.
All right, so we've seen the massive public square. Now let's jump all the way to the most private, most exclusive room imaginable. We're going from that giant outer circle to the tiny one in the very center. Let's talk about the Intranet. This is your members-only club.
The most important word on this slide is right there in all caps, only. An intranet is a totally private network that's just for an organization's staff and only its staff. No one from the outside can get in. Its whole job is internal communication, sharing files and messages inside one single company. The private office analogy, it's perfect.
And boom, this brings us right back to our first question. That school website where you check your grades and see announcements? That's a perfect real-world example of an intranet. Just students and teachers are allowed in. The same thing applies to a company's private website for its employees or an internal HR system.
Okay, so we've got the super public internet and the super private intranet. But what if a company needs to share just a little bit of information with a few specific people from the outside? Well, that's where our middle circle comes into play. It's time to talk about the extranet, your VIP pass to a semi-private world. So an extranet is a private network, but it's a controlled one. It basically cracks open the door of the company's intranet just a little bit to let very specific outsiders in. The key word here is selective.
This isn't for the general public. It's for trusted partners, vendors, or important clients. It's not totally private, but it's not public either. It's for people who are on the guest list.
For example, a car company might give its part suppliers a special login to an extranet so they can manage orders. Or maybe a marketing agency gives a client access so they can check the progress of their new website. These are classic examples of what we call B2B, or business-to-business connections.
All right, time for the part you'll definitely want to pay attention to for your exams. Let's put these three networks in a head-to-head battle to make sure the differences are absolutely crystal clear. This is your comparison round.
Round 1. Who gets in? For the Internet, it's public access. The gates are wide open for everyone. For the intranet, it's restricted access. Think of a locked door that only employees have the key to. And for the extranet, it's limited access, like having a special VIP ticket for a few chosen guests. Next up, round 2 is all about the why. What's the main purpose? The Internet's goal is gigantic, connect the entire world. And intranet's goal is super focused, share stuff inside just one organization. And an extranet is for sharing between an organization and its special partners. And for the final round, security. Now, this one is pretty logical, right? It's a direct result of who gets access. The Internet is naturally the least secure because it's so open. The intranet is the most secure because it's completely locked down. And the extranet, it sits right there in the middle, trying to balance security with the need to let those trusted partners in.
Whew, we've covered a lot. So let's bring it all home with the ultimate cheat sheet. This is where you'll see how everything we just talked about fits together perfectly. And here you have it, the master summary. Seriously, if you're studying for a test, get your phone out and take a screenshot of this right now. It breaks down everything, the definition, who can access it, its purpose, security, and examples for all three networks, side by side. It's everything you need, all in one place.
But before you go, I've got one last little trick to make this all stick in your brain like permanent marker. Just remember this. Internet is for international, meaning it's for everyone. Intranet is like intramurals, sports played inside the walls of one school. And extranet is for an extra person you invite in, like a trusted partner. Simple as that. You got this.